Alright, should be live. Picking up where we left off. I have done some level grinding, some party changeouts. So I think we're pretty well set to hopefully do minimal losing. I had to make a lot of decisions after the end of the last stream when in the last moment in my rushed decision making during my need to, unfortunately, end the stream earlier than I necessarily... Ooh, hey, hold up. Than I maybe necessarily wanted. Stay on the ball. Thank you. 24 to 25. I'll catch one more before I head into the room. There's got to be another Magikarp around here somewhere. Yeah, losing Machamp like that really hurt. Kind of was building her up to be my ace in the hole, my champion to carry me through. And it never expected the Snorlax to do the amount of damage it did. Hey Tiago, welcome to the stream. Been a while, man. Can I have a burger? I have returned. You have indeed returned. And you can indeed have a burger, but I'm sorry, man. You're going to have to be on your own for the acquisition of that. Getting a hold of the ingredients right now, sometimes a bit of a challenge. Hey Richard Forrest, welcome to the stream. Perfect timing, I actually had nothing new to watch at this moment. Awesome. Well, unfortunately I got pretty sick yesterday, as far as like injury goes, which is why I had to call off the stream yesterday and I had to resort to having to catch up today. One problem with this game is sometimes your opponents are stronger than you expect. Yeah, what really threw me off was I think it was Zen Headbutt being used twice. Snorlax is not a very fast Pokemon, and so for some reason I have it in my head that your speed stat in some way should have some leaning on the turn order, and it really didn't. It's been a while, so what are the updates on your life and Quinn's? Quinn is spending a lot more time out of the house recently, doing, first of all, his work, second of all, trying to get things going on his family front. And we have a big fancy Goodra in front of us. I'm going to have to see if I can adjust my party order. Alright, I think starting with Jerry is going to be the preferred method here. The updates on my life, I've got some internal organ issues, which are in the process of being looked at and dealt with, but unfortunately that's sometimes something that kicks up. I have lost a lot of weight. Oh, I don't get special... Ooh, okay. That kind of sucks. Alright, so it's probably better than just for the raw damage to stick with Crunch. Agile gets me nothing. Damn, is everything okay? Yeah, everything's about as okay as one can expect. Shelter, is that just big defense buffs? Okay, yep. Oh, and evasion. There we go, now I can double up here. Yeah, the situation is I'm not losing vital organs, so, you know, that's always... You know, if you're gonna have to lose one, I suppose that's the way to go about it. The current running theory is gallbladder issues. I'm definitely gonna want to heal here. Tiago, I do have something I have to tell you, just because you started following the channel around the same time as another big bit of information, and you and him had some back and forth. I find to be under the assumption that you guys had some degree of prior knowledge with each other, either through other channels or something to that effect. Halo Master Chief. the man behind the account with the username. He has, unfortunately, I don't know if you have found out, passed away, and I'm only bringing this up in reference to you specifically, because I have it understood that you and him had some prior knowledge of each other. Yes, you unfortunately have heard that correctly. Welcome to the stream, Ash. Welcome to the stream, Dem. I just had to update Tiago on recent happenings. Yes, Tiago, I am in complete agreement. There was a huge emotional outpouring when I first got the information. How did I find that out? Richard spreading in some good cheers, if nothing else. Tiago, if you're asking how I found that out, he had, as I have acknowledged before, for my Twitter profile and so on there, if you follow me and you feel you have the need to chat about something, I am always open to hear about your problems, to be an ear, to even give thoughts if you want. And it all started with him contacting me about something in regards to that. Again, I'm trying to keep his privacy on the issue to as much respectable degree as I can. And it started from there. Your emotions, sure. Okay, I'm going to cover what I'm talking about now before I get into this, because I think these have a chance to fail on some of these, and I don't remember which they are. From there, we spoke quite a bit. Eventually, played a couple of games together, shared some time with him. And his mother had realized that he was talking with me. On Facebook, she got a hold of me and let me know what had happened and the situation that played out. I don't think I can be justified in giving further information than that, Tiago, purely on the grounds of I want to pay respect to the people being referenced here. Was he sick? He had caught something. From my understanding, it was not COVID, but he had caught something. Was feeling really ill. I actually got a message from him. I think the day before he passed, or was found having passed. Yes, he did get sick with something, and he had a long history from birth of certain medical issues. And so I think the factor of those two things coming into collision at a certain part in his life is what happened, but that is purely my speculation on how piecing information that I got together. I didn't want to pry, and I do not at any point want to seek information that the family has not already been willing to upfront give. I am not going to pry, and I am not going to prod. I am leaving the grief where it needs to be. But I felt that, given the fact that you and him seem to have some history, and the two of you found my channel back around the same time, that was information I wanted to present to you. Quite often in the chat, he would actually ask about you, hoping that I had heard from you and gotten good news. So I was under the understanding that you two had a somewhat positive interaction prior to ever finding my channel. I'm not sure if that's true. Again, I'm piecing information together from my understanding of the situation. I totally understand, Tiago. It was a shock to me when I found out. But like I said, I wanted to get that out there before I pushed forward in the gameplay. Can I pay him a small tribute here? Absolutely. I have thought about doing a tribute video, but I backed out on the questions of my personal thoughts of where does it cross the line of me trying to pay respect to someone and when does it start to turn into, am I trying to, how do I say it? Am I trying to milk something? And I don't want it to come off as that. Him and I got along fairly well, and I want to pay respect to the person who had passed, not come off as something else. And so I had backed out personally. But absolutely, if you see the want to do that, Spartans never die. They respawn. Absolutely. So I am sorry to be the bearer of bad news on this to you. Even more so to bring it up a second time, but at the very least, it's staying within the same series. So people who will be watching this down the line, if ever, will understand the timeline and see the way that plays out. Anyways, I am going to push past that now. It's the same thing with the day I had to let the rest of the chat know. And just go from here. We should do a tribute talk on Halo for Halo Master Chief. What I had thought of doing was life is complicated. What I thought of doing for a tribute to him was, like I had said, after we had gotten to talk and he had opened up with some of his life issues, and we actually, I don't want to say solved some, but helped him work past the harder times in relation to some things. What really eats me up is he was actually at the point where he was turning things around, and he had lined up a plan and had started putting things in motion when this had happened. That's what hit me the most. But I was going to, a lot of our discussions would come while we were playing certain games, and I was going to do a video of me doing clips and cutouts from specifically certain games we have played, certain levels that we had particular interactions on. But again, I backed out of that decision for personal decisions on how it might be perceived. Nice idea. Thank you very much, Tiago. Originally, I thought it was, and then, like I said, I had to second guess and try to consider how it would come off to other people. Anyways, moving forward. Dem. I got my results from college on Thursday. Got the grades I needed for uni. Awesome. That's already fantastic news. Let me adjust how I'm reading this, though. I feel like L from Death Note the way I was reading that. You move to the beach on the 23rd of next month. Hell yeah. By the way, I think that's about, at least in the ballpark, when I'm finally able to get to see a doctor about this thing going on in my body. But that's fantastic news. Hopefully, that's great news for you and will be followed by great news for me, because, you know, what's better than singular good news, but double good news? Might not be in the stream too much. Don't pay that any mind, Dem. You have got a plan that you are pursuing, and you have got opportunities that you are going to want to follow through on. So, as I said before, my goal with this channel is to more so provide people, I feel, a service in the interaction with people that is not as present as it once was in the world. I've often likened it to the experience of coming home from school, the end of a high school day, you know, or something, coming home from school, sitting on the couch next to your bud, cracking open a drink, popping open a bag of Doritos or something, and just sitting back, chatting, and unwinding from the stress of the life that just got wrapped up. You know, the end of the school day life. That is what I have likened the intended experience to. Where are we heading next? Up here? And so, building off of that, when I hear that my viewers are having good news and pursuing life goals, that's good news to me. That is where I'd like to see this going. That you can come here, you can share good news, you can share troubles, you can have that human interaction relationship that is unfortunately more and more lacking as the world drifts further and further into, oh god, I'm gonna steal a word from Facebook and have to go like rip my tongue out later, into the metaverse, as it were. I feel like I just chewed a bunch of sand saying that. Anyways, but you get what I'm saying. As things head further into the online only realm, even the human to human interactions, it seems that there is, from my perspective, a culture and a person-to-person experience, a humanitarian decline in our relations with each other. And so that's kind of what I'm trying to do, is do what I can to provide some of that experience. I'm sure it's altruistic and ridiculous and the kind of thing that it's like, oh, you're hoping for something that, what difference can you make? Blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of criticisms you can do with it, but it's something that I think I can do, that I have the means to put forward and provide that to however many people manage to find my channel and feel that that is something that they want. And so again, the way I look at it is, your good news is my good news. And so of course I'm going to be happy about that. Do I have to heal up? I didn't even think to look. No, okay, we haven't fought anything. We went from one right into another. I got a few more messages here to read before I go in and fight the next totem Pokemon. Is this one the Quillfish evolution one? I can't remember. I wouldn't accuse you of trying to milk it, as he was your friend. Unfortunately, a lot of people would likely accuse you of that. People can be a-holes on this site sometimes. And that's the thing, is I understand that the people who have been watching and who are subscribed presently, who followed the situation as it lays out, would be understanding and would understand why I would do something like that. Again, something I would not, you know, exclude just to him, but my point stands. I question how that would be perceived from... The algorithm can be a jackass sometimes, and if that would be, like, the video that took off and was like, oh, everybody saw it, God, that I would hate myself for what I mean to be a heartfelt tribute to end up being under those circumstances. I don't know how to lay it out. But that was the reason I opted not to, and resorted to just presenting information and facts as I have them and my thoughts attached to them, as minimal as I've tried. Not to say I'm never an a-hole, but I do try to be nice most of the time. Richard, I live my life in the lane of the asshole. It just so happens that maybe I have the wrong definition. If you wanted to make a video about the good times, maybe reach out to his parents and see if they would like/be comfortable with it. Again, I'm actually fairly certain, specifically his brother was another person I had communications with. If I reached out to them, I actually think they would be understanding of it, but it's how it will be perceived to others as well. And there's a lot of pieces that fit into this, and I think I would rather do more subtle aspects and acknowledge things that have happened as they happened, because they're going to be referenced. There's going to be moments that maybe I say something like, oh hey, Halo and I did this at one point in time, and then followed by a long silence of me having to grapple with the emotion of what is referenced. It's something that's going to happen, so I need to inform the channel why certain things will play out certain ways when I think about them. It's the same thing when I reference other friends of mine who I know who have passed or who have faced hard times, or I think I have referenced a story during the pandemic situation where a friend of mine had made an unalive attempt, trying not to trigger the algorithm here. Uh, and how I grappled with that situation and how things happened from there. God, I can't remember. It's Ghost and... Is it Ghost and Fairy? I actually think I can check this. This one's normal and Ghost, so maybe the other one's Ghost. Alright, Dusk. I'm gonna throw you in and hope you do fantastic. Actually, I should stick with Jerry. I think Jerry has the best coverage for defenses, and he does have crunch. So... But yeah, it's all of the pieces at play that leave me with an unwanted taste in my mouth on the idea of doing that. Richard, well then, I've got good news. I found out where to hide the bodies. Richard, if you want assistance on that, again, as I say, my Twitter is open. I have heard that there is a huge amount of success to be found with mulching processes and the feeding to livestock. If you are unaware, there is an old wives' tale. I don't know if it's true. I'd imagine this is the kind of thing that is just dark enough to be true, or at least founded in an air of truth. Of someone who, in order to hide bodies, actually mulched them up and fed them to pigs. And was not found out until I think after the statute of limitations or something like that. It's an old internet tale, and it's very dark. And it is one that definitely bites at the brain in a terrible way. God damn it. Literally and metaphorically. Didn't even realize what I had just said until I said it. How did I never think of that? There is also a chemical that can dissolve bones, and a type of insect that tends to eat flesh and is able to strip it down to the bones. My brother actually had a couple of these insects for a while. Just a small number. He found interest in the idea that they even existed, and had a couple. Alright, can you repeat that? Combi, Zubat, Unknown, Magneton, Dusclops. So this is based on the eyes. I think Combi might have 6. So I think it's going to be 6, 0, 1, 3, 1. So let's go with 6, 0, 1, 3, 1. I actually want to double check this on just the Combi. I'm confident about the others. Yes, they do have 6. Each little honeycomb has a set of eyes themselves. Oh, hey, so I actually got the Piece of Spirit. I did do that right. Oh, Richard, I am just reminded of a conversation we had on Twitter. This starts down an Alex Jones reference, so I don't necessarily need to so much directly reference the conversation we had on Twitter per se, but leading into that, the reference story to the DMT experiments. Has anybody not heard of the shared high found within people who take DMT for the first time? And the conspiracy that resides around that. I'm a huge fan of conspiracy theories as entertainment. Not so much something to actually legitimately believe and ride your world around. But there is some fun to be had, in my opinion, with the concept of conspiracy theories. Another fun one I love is the Weasel timeline, which you might or might not have heard about. Never heard of that one. Okay, well, we got to cover that one and the Weasel timeline. So the DMT one is uniquely, there seems to be a huge number of people who have taken DMT tend to share very similar stories about how their first high goes. And a lot of them seem to reference speaking to some sort of entity. What the entity is and what its realm of existence in their high kind of varies a little bit here and there. A lot of people talk about them in reference to elves. Others reference it as like some form of deity. Some people reference them as an entity that is from another dimension or a higher plane of existence to various degrees. Interdimensional, intergalactical, whatever. It varies on that sense, but it seems to be a lot of people talk with some entity and something about their first experience. Some even reference it as demons. You might hear, again, to reference to the Alex Jones that started all of this. For some time, I actually thought 9/11 was planned because I heard some reasons from it from people calling into a radio talk show I used to love listening to when I was a kid. 9/11 is something with very interesting, divisive takes. Some absolutely absurd, others founded on some degree of reality, some founded on hard realities, but twisted, and some just, the narrative as we understand it to the masses. Anyways, back to this thing about the shared high and the experience within. So these people take DMT and they have this high, and I think this all started with people on a subreddit sharing their experience and being like, oh, holy cow, I had the exact same thing. I thought it was this. I thought it was that. And that playing into the system or into the story. But from this, there are talks that the government had picked up on these shared stories in the past and had actually experimented with it, supposedly actually getting people high, reporting on what they experienced on their first high and their subsequent highs and so on. And I don't know if there's any confirmation to that. I haven't looked into the validity of the claim that the government is experimenting on people in that specific way. But what I can tell you is I would not be personally surprised to find out that that part of the story is true. because there is plenty of evidence in the past, on many occasions, where yes, the U.S. government does in fact, or is in fact not above experimenting on its citizens. Experimenting on to various degrees. I'm not going to deal with you guys right now. We're going to keep pushing forward this way. So, is there a realm in which that is theoretically possible? Sure. Do I believe the government could fund that? Yes. The government tends to have an interest in things that it can't explain because it seems to be that they want to explain everything. And scientists are always looking for funding for X, Y, and Z. So, those pieces line up in a way that, okay, look, I can't verify any of it, but would I be surprised? No. The interesting aspect is still built upon the, apparently, per people's acknowledgements, that initial concept that they have this shared experience where they're talking to someone or something. Now, where it gets into the conspiracy aspect, that is, like, blatantly conspiracy, and where I find the more entertainment from, is that the government, in this experimenting, had somehow decided that they were going to think it was worth doing to feed into this and use people getting high as a way to negotiate information, dealings, or so on with whatever forces these are that these people are talking to. And that's where it gets into the fun conspiracy stuff. The idea that our, governing bodies are making... So let's go on the absurd interpretation of what these things are. Intergalactic mechanical space elves. Let's just throw them all in a pot and call it that. The government is using people getting high on DMT to make dealings with intergalactic mechanical space elves. I love the absurdity of that idea because, once again, when you approach it from the idea of conspiracy theories as entertainment, God, that's an entertaining, wild idea to just take the spiral down the insanity trip. The other one I referenced earlier was Weasel Theory. And I want to look something up real fast because I want to get the timeline correct because it does kind of matter. Alright. In 2016. Now think about the decline of chaos in our world right now. When would you say that started? I've referenced before when I put Harambe in my team that it started around the time of Harambe getting shot. When was Harambe shot? May of 2016. I referenced the Harambe theory. I prefer the Harambe theory. I love the idea that Harambe was actually a universal glue holding the fabric of sanity to our world together, and the absurdity of that singular moment shattered everything. However, that plays more into my love of gorillas and not so much into my love of just the conspiracy theory aspect. Weasel timeline is a completely different thing. Alright, this thing is poison. And poison is a typing I don't know enough about. Man. Again, Jerry would be the smart answer to open up with. That monkey was the second coming. Exactly. That's the timeline the story version that I personally choose to play into for the love of the concept. But Weasel timeline is in 2016, April 2016. This would be 1 month before Harambe, which could start this as like the fracture and then Harambe being the snapping. But Weasel timeline, in 2016, they started up, I believe it was the Large Hadron Collider. And around this time, a weasel had snuck into the machine working. I am going to actually put BB up front. I think BB's got a chance to shine here. Hopefully it's poisoned water and we can make use of the water weakness. If it's not, I don't know what I'm going to do here. Use blue ball for poison. Ooh, I wish I had read that earlier. Although, I accidentally swapped in the menu and not before, so I suppose... Oh shit, I don't have a steel type move on him. Oh, that's terrible. Nobody has a steel type move, do they? No, Jerry does. Jerry has Iron Head. I think the steel is for the resistance to the poison. And looking at the move pools, I think that's a good option. I think I'm going to swap in like you had recommended. Anyways. The double edge, though. The double edge is going to hurt eventually. Anyways, a weasel had climbed into the wirings of the Large Hadron Collider, and while it was running, had chewed through one of the wires. And the theory is that this moment... Yeah, I'll stick with that again just for the turn order. That moment that, you know, you have this big, massive machine messing with things on a quantum mechanical level or whatever. A degree and level of physics that a lot of people don't fully understand, myself included. I understand a couple things about it, not enough to even proclaim myself to be an expert on anything. This Overquill is just going to suicide itself, and I don't even know if I'm mad about that. Alright, there we go. I guess Overquill is dealt with. That was... Swapping to blue balls was absolutely a smart choice, though. I don't know what it could have swapped to without relying on that double edge, and that's a fearful thought, so thank you for that recommendation. I've been to the Large Hadron Collider. It's huge. Absolutely. And so you have this thing that a lot of people don't fully understand. And then you say, but what if something goes terribly wrong right in the middle of something that's supposed to be happening that's supposed to go terribly right? And from that, you expand into a breaking apart of people's understanding of reality. And so it's like this weasel created a diverging point in our intended timeline. And we are currently living in this divergent point. You could oftentimes reference this to like the Berenstein Bears and the Berenstain Bears or whatever. It's a similar concept in how this conspiracy theory expands beyond the initial story. So when you understand one, you can understand the other a lot more easily. Oh, okay, I remember this one. This is the one for willpower. Ooh, that was strange. Camera just freaked out. But yeah, so this weasel chewing through some wires. I'm not through yet. And I think the weasel didn't even die, which is another thing that like is a part of the story that makes it interesting and confusing to some people. Like, you're telling me this thing chewed through wires for this giant machine that is doing such wild things, and it didn't die? So you bring these oddities of a story together, and you end up with Weasel Timeline, and that happens to be the timeline we're at. Again, starting around 2016, when you can look at a large series of things getting progressively more and more chaotic and crazy. People are using. First of all, I use Harambe, but other people are using, not literally, as a joke, I use the Harambe story. But people are using that, the Weasel Timeline, to literally explain why things are devolving into potentially, we got the big fears of wars right now that might lead to a theoretical World War III. I'm not going to get into one way or the other where I stand on that right now. I think that's a discussion for a very different set of circumstances, but that's where that theory comes from, and why you can start with something like that and wind up down a water slide of chaos that, again, when you look at it from the entertainment aspect, is so fun to dive into, because it is trying to use it as an explanation for almost everything that goes on that you might even question right now. And so yeah, when you're talking about wild stories like this, I love the water slide of chaos. It's also why I like a lot of TV shows and specifically anime that maybe take something that's supposed to be serious and just say, but let's turn the chaos up to 11 and have wild fun with it. It's why I love parody concepts so much. You'll reference like Dragon Ball Z Abridged. All of your anime abridging shows would play into this concept. But a lot of parody works tend to play into this concept. I actually was talking with a friend of mine recently about they were referencing the type of video games that you might question, is it even a video game, of like visual novels and things. And I had referenced that, oh yeah, I've played a couple. And of course it immediately got into the discussion of the perviness aspect, and I told him, I don't play the visual novels that would be of that degree where that's the reason someone plays them. I have played ones that are parodies of that concept. My favorite to date, I have two by the same company, and one I liked a whole lot more because it was kind of my deep dive into the concept of it, and the other one I like because it played into it and did even more just goofy, dumb chaos shit. And it was Stay, Democratic People's Republic of Korea. I actually did a playthrough of that exact game with a bunch of my friends. My brother was involved. We had a terrible mic back in the day. The audio is god-awful. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's terrible quality because we were working literally with a computer that was built with junkyard parts. So, junkyard part computer, a microphone that was the cheapest I could get at the time. This was actually at a time that we had just broken out of being homeless. I think Stay, Democratic People's Republic of Korea was around the time we had just moved into the house that we're in right now. I don't even think we had all of our boxes unpacked. So that's the setup we had. It is such a chaotic mess of hilarity, and it definitely plays into political parody. I loved it. It was hilarious. And so we played that one, and as a group. And then we moved from that one as a group. I think a couple of us were really drunk when we were playing it too. I think myself, Jacob, and maybe Tyler for both of the playthroughs I'm going to reference. Some episodes we were incredibly drunk. We also had Caleb involved in one of these at one point in time. Which is way back. Tiago, who was in the chat earlier, joined around the time that we had Caleb explaining to my brother and I for our first time playing the original Halo games. So yeah, there was the Stay, Democratic People's Republic of Korea. And then from there was... God, what was the other one? Okay, before Stay, they made something called Panzer Models, which was a tank girl dating sim. I played that one, I wasn't as much of a fan. It wasn't nearly as absurd, and so it kind of fell through for me. But the attack helicopter dating sim, that one was also hilarious. So I see that no one is chatting at me and telling me how terrible a human being I am for even considering playing things like this. So I'm a little confused and surprised. But legitimately, if you want to laugh your ass off at the idea of the story, check out those games or even check out the videos we did on them. I admit that they were poor quality and the equipment we were using was beyond minimal. And I had almost no knowledge of how to even operate a video editing software at the time. So a lot of that is, objectively pretty bad, but the hilarity and the comedy within it was pretty funny, and just a bunch of drunk guys just hooting and hollering at political joke inserted into terrible situation. Best dating sim is the KFC one. We played that one as well. That was another one down the line that we played, and that's what I'm referencing. A parody game like that is exactly what I would buy into to get me into that genre. Like, that's what it takes. I'm not going to just be like, oh, look, there are boobies on the screen. This is everything I want. I will play into the meme of that when it happens in games that I'm playing. I love JRPGs, and let me tell you one thing JRPGs love doing. Tits and ass. It sells products. I'm not going to deny that that's a fact of what happens in the genre. That's not why I play them, but I am going to joke and josh at it when it happens. Oh my god! What was that? The face change from incredible depression to almost terrified excitement. Yeah, we actually did do a playthrough of the Colonel Sanders dating game. What was it? The puppo who was also your teacher? Probably my favorite running joke in it. I always knew corgis were behind teaching people how to cook in KFC headquarters. Don't try and tell me that doesn't line up. Alright, so I think I have the major... Oh, whoops. I hit A before reading into what happened. The red chain. Okay, I think I have the next major fight. I have the interaction with the great and powerful, whatever they call it, Oz. I think down the timeline I'm going through with this, it's going to be Dialga this time. I went with Palkia last time. Good old penis head. But this time we're going with Space Dragon Dog. Which also kind of had a very phallic head, if I remember correctly. And then, I don't remember if that's before or after the fight. Hello? Hello? Big Groof? Oh, that's right, the guy that plays into the concept of the movie character. With the sensing of the aura. Forgot about this guy. Which reminds me, I have one more catch available in the game for building out a potential party should anything chaotic happen where I lose way too many Pokemon. And if I have the option, I'd love to go do that catch before I push forward. Because I know what I want it to be. But it's going to be a hard one, and it's going to be one that I think I'm actually under-leveled to tackle legitimately in a battle. Oh, wow. I just got a notification on my phone that we are going to be getting a heavy storm in my area. So, if I start hearing thunder and lightning outside, I might start wrapping up the stream. Just letting you guys know, I'm actually getting a warning on my phone about that right now. Ah, thank you for the trash, young child. I'm gonna have to turn around and sell this immediately because I'm not allowed to use it. As much as I'd love to, like, commit some sort of sacrilegious wiping of a bunch of potential party members to bring a few beloved entries back, I'm not one that's about to sign up for ritualistic sacrifices. That is actually a house rule I have heard people do to justify bringing back Pokemon in softer ruled Nuzlocks. And I'm not against the idea of the concept, and it's basically you sacrifice a bunch of Pokemon to Arceus. Not specifically in this Arceus game, you know, in the lore of the justifying it in your run. You sacrifice them to, like, Arceus or to Giratina or something like that, and it rewards you with the ability to bring one Pokemon back from the dead. And I think it's like you have to sacrifice an entire party's worth to bring one back. Again, in games where you're doing particularly well but had one nasty loss, you might consider that sacrifice. But personally, I think it diminishes the idea of what I would be looking for the Nuzlocke for. I think people watch Nuzlocks for the pain and anguish when beloved partner Pokemon end up dying and you have to adapt to it. I don't know, I suppose that's something I should ask you guys more specifically about. Wait, hold on. I have two catches. I have this strip up here. Alright, I already have a Luxray. So actually, I know how to do this. I'm going to back out and make sure the Luxray is not angry at me. There we go. So the Luxray is one that I can actually just battle. I almost think, damn, I think you're going to be the best option to swing at the Luxray and deal with it quickly. You check your moves here. No ground type. I thought somebody had a ground type move. Oh, shit. I think I did, and I think they are no longer with us. Hopefully it doesn't rain for a bit then. I'm gonna be inclined to agree. I'm surprised Dem and Jerry are still both alive. Dem, you do a lot of work during the grinding of experience because I can throw you out into a lot of the smaller fights, and the raw power that you swing with is enough to just carve through most anything I face. So you actually are a lot of times the one I'm often using for off-screen grinding. Dem and Jerry, I think you guys are the larger one. Dusk, when Nightfall comes around and I need to start beating other ghost types. So that's kind of why you guys are sitting at the leader of the pack here, these three, with the total levels. Jerry, on the other hand, Gyarados is notoriously amazing during Nuzlocke runs. So the fact that Jerry's still around is only surprising in the idea that just as much as they are famously super useful in Nuzlocke runs, they are also famously some of the heavier losses as a result. Because you throw them in when you're really up against the wall, and suddenly you fail to realize just how against the wall you were. Start eating. Eat that berry. Take the... Oh, it turned slightly right at the end, and I think that cost me my backstrike opportunity. Alright. So Stone Axe isn't bad. X Scissor is just a stronger move, so I'll go with that. Oh, and a critical hit. Can't argue with that at all. There you go. You walked in, slapped it with your stone axes, and down it went. It's how they tend to go. I was just a little bit worried because of the potential level. And I don't know. I think Luxray is capable of learning some moves like... what's the Fire Bite? Whatever they call it. Fire Fang, I think. Alright. So while it's happening, I'm going to back up. Awesome. So, in this area, Electabuzz is my usable catch. Because it's going to possibly be a replacement for BB. Should BB, unfortunately, happen to possibly fall. Let me work around here. I know that there's I think Electivire that can spawn in down there. And I'm not particularly keen on fighting an Electivire right now. Ah, there he is. Alright, if I'm going to face a terrible loss, this is probably where it's going to happen. Because I think I have a couple of gauntlet-like fights to lead up to. Do I have any little experience things? No, I don't. How about any growth I can give to BB? Because BB's going to be the one up front here. Special attack, not so much needed. And I'm also going to check the moves, because we're kind of reaching towards what could be the end of the running here. Alright, I think those moves are about as good as I can set up. Gotta check everyone, though. Apologies as I'm doing the setup work here. Alright, Hypnosis we're not doing. Venom Shock isn't the worst thing here, but I would need to remove the typing coverage, and Dusk being the only one with Dazzling Gleam is kind of important. Although Psychic as just a raw general psychic attack isn't bad. Alright, I think Dusk is good where he's at. Apologies for taking up so much time with this, but I really don't want to end up in a bad spot, you know? Alright, I think Air Slash is better. 95 accuracy. You know I hate moves that miss. But the damage trade-off is kind of worth the 5% increased chance to miss. Alright. We're not going to put close combat on him. Harambe's our swinging fifth thrower. Hurricane. It's got a huge chance to miss, but it's another flying option. And Hyper Beam could be just fun meme energy. But that's about all I get out of it with that. God, I need a better punchy move. Although, Drain Punch is a better punchy move. I'll take that. Close combat, not bad, but I hate losing defense afterwards. If it doesn't end the fight, then I'm hurting. Physical move, 85% accuracy. That's pretty terrible, actually. Alright. I have nothing to get rid of Ember for, really. Bulldoze. Bulldoze for Ember. Great. That'll give me a ground type move. Shadow Claw could be a fun one. An Infernape with a ghost type move. Alright, I think those are not terrible. Get rid of Swift while we're here. Man, Poison. Poison could help him fight other fighting types too, which is great. Then again, Aerial Ace does the same thing. And Aerial Ace can't miss. Is can't missing not... Man, what's a better take here? I think I'll take the Poison Jab here. Because realistically, Blue Balls, who is literally the only male on our team, and the name is unfortunately depressing when you factor that in. Hopefully he can get a couple of good... Yeah, he's got Aerial Ace already. Wave Crash, 75 power, accuracy 100. Its whole body to inflict damage. This also damages the user and raises the user's action speed. That's almost understandable trade-off. Roost is so good, the option to heal, but I need the damage coverage. And then Flash Cannon would not be bad. Another steel type attack in the equation, but I'm going to stick with what we got. Okay, I think we're as set as I can be going into these fights. So now I just ride in and hope for the best. Start with BB. Because I don't know what they're going to throw at me, but I think his big thing is a Gallade. Blue Balls being blue balled. Absolutely. This was such a shocker the first time. That, like, out of everyone in the village, like, there were subtle hints about Benny's issues with Pokemon. But the huge turnaround here, and then just like, bam, I'm actually Benny the Ninja. Also, not gonna lie, he rocks the ninja garb quite well. Alright, 4 Pokemon. I need to adjust the microphone here. Sorry, guys. Starting to get a little abdominal pain, so I need to correct my posture. Alright, so opening up with the Ghost type kinda hurts, but also is not a bad opening for us. That was infinitely better than I feared it would have been. That one hurt. Holy cow. Alright, so coming into this, oh man. If I toss Dem out and you just absolutely crush it with a Psycho Cut. Yeah, Psycho Cut relies on your physical attack. Air Slash, the only problem I have with it is a special attack move. Psycho Cut would destroy. Alright. Can I gotta show this. That physical attack number. Our speed isn't super lacking. I'm hoping we can make this work. If Dem can come out, not take a hit, and Psycho Cut, I think it's game over for it. I also think the safer option might be Harambe. Benny is the best character. Look at his little Hitler mustache. Alright, Dem, I'm gonna call it up to you. Do you wanna come in here and clear the field, or do you wanna go with the safer, less risky route? Because I'm on a toss-up. I think Harambe is the safer bet where we don't lose anyone. but there's something just beautiful about you coming in and just cleaving this thing in half. Could also heal up with a max potion. It's probably gonna get a shot in. Chuck me in. Dem's calling it. As long as either A doesn't hit or B doesn't critical. Oh! And now its defense is down. Let's go big. Crush it. Break its spine. There we go. It couldn't have, and it was a critical hit. That bastard is dead twice over. Alright, the Gardevoir is gonna hurt a little bit though. Yeah, kinda saw that. This is why we swap. Oh man, Dusk. I kinda wanna throw Dusk in. I think Blue Ball might be a safer bet. Blue Ball with the Shadow Claw. Again, Dem, that is a high risk, high reward maneuver. The amount of damage you can output as a Pokemon in this game is like unrivaled. But if I have you too vulnerable, I'm left hurting real bad. Alright. I worry about the Gallade coming in. So I'm going to pop a potion here and take a hit. Hopefully it doesn't crit. If we take a crit, that was worthless. If we don't, it's the best path forward. No risk, no reward. I like that mentality. I just don't want to lose another important member of the team. Oh! Okay, so the fighting type really hurt there. Oh, please. Dusk, come in and just... This could be good. Alright, I can't get a double up shot here. I could just go all in, but I don't trust that. I'm gonna go Shadow Ball. Standard Shadow Ball. See what we're working with. And it doesn't even matter. Gallade goes down. Alright, and definitely heal up after that, because, man, that hurt. We didn't lose anyone, but we took some heavy hits. Which also means, I think, as far as I can interpret that to mean, we're probably right at a level peak that is reasonable to go right into the next fight. Oh, well, okay then. Got worried for a second there. Richard, we're at the end game. I am living my life worried about it. My worst case scenario is I'm fighting human characters. I don't have to expect that they're going to kill me if they best me in a Pokemon fight. Especially this guy up here who seems to be a little bit of leaning in toward the human supremacy approach. I don't think he would kill me. I think he would turn around and be like, you're banished again. But the thought of having to train up an entire B-team party is a terrifying thought to me. The amount of time I'd have to sink in to get everything up to level 60 again. It's almost as terrifying as the possible loss already. Oh, okay, I can buy some things here. Great. Let's buy a few of these. I could use a few of these. Oh. Wait. I'm trying to remember. I think I fight him first and then the great and powerful Sinnoh. I gotta say, Adaman rocks that jacket very well. I kinda want one. And I don't understand why I want one. I couldn't rock it that well. It's a little too goofy. Maybe if I can get one that's like more modernized. Alright, very worried. This is kind of the last fight before the last Pokemon encounter. And is where I originally planned to end this series because I didn't want to fill out the Pokedex again. And I have already proven that Arceus can be beaten without having to use other Pokemon. And I'm fairly certain, looking at how I did it the first time, I could do it without losing an entire party to the sacrifice treatment of, you know, it taking the hit and getting me out of there. Alright. I think a stab bonus is only an additional 10 to the power, so that would be 75 with the chance for paralysis, whereas this is an 80. I think I'll take the crunch. Man, I should have done the strong hit. They're giving me an opportunity. Alright, neither of those give me the follow-up. Man. I worry about the action order. When they send someone else in, they might get a double shot. So I'm going to stick with this. And I get rewarded for my caution. Oh god! No! The flashbacks! Oh, the flashbacks! Oh, that was terrifying! Oh, and the high horsepower is going to be super effective. This could be bad. Alright, can't double up. Poison's pointless. Bulldoze kind of pointless. We're going first. Maybe this would help. It wouldn't be able to double up on a shot. Maybe I'll go with that and try for Drain Punch next. Okay. Yes. And we can double up on Drain Punch. This might have been the play. Oh, it was the play! That little bit extra damage put us right over from the first move. Alright, Clefable I got a little bit of fear from. But we can double up Poison Jab. Accuracy 100, there's no reason it should miss. Okay, from here, what if I swap into someone? I can't sacrifice Harambe. The universe has done this to us once already. The damage is high. I think Blue Ball can take it. I can't sacrifice this timeline as well. We've already had this discussion. Blast it with Liquidation. Just turn that Clefable into a big pink goo blob. Turn that Clefable into a Ditto. Oh, and Blue Ball is like in his element here. My guy, you got. God, do I insult him and just be like, yo, I'm gonna slap you with my bird wings? I'm gonna do it. Get bird slapped. I was worried there. Not gonna lie. I was really worried there. You know, I do have one fight that I need to do in response to this that can happen with a little bit of off-screen grinding for me, and I'll just build to it. We need to have the Giratina fight. The Giratina fight should be the true end goal. I think I was cutting it a little short. I don't have to fight Arceus to fight Giratina, if I recall correctly. So, I need to aim for that as being the next main goal. Imagine Harambe dies and all the Pokemon games are lost with no memory of them. Dem, that is a dark timeline we don't have to walk down. Harambe came in clutch and Blue Balls finally got to... Oh god. Blue Balls came in and literally got to unload his liquidation all over the competition. Yeah, I said that. I said that and I regret it, but not enough to take it back. And you know what? I'm going to end it here. And we're going to open up with this. Should I? Can I? I don't think that lines up well for timeline. Alright, I'm going in now. I was going to make you guys wait for it and lead off on another Blue Balls reference. But I don't think that leaves enough content for another stream. By the way, upcoming games I'm hoping to get to check out. I'm curious on your guys' opinions on whether or not I should do videos regarding them. Obviously, the new upcoming Pokemon game is going to be one that I'm going to do 2 different video types on. I am going to be doing both versions to see the differences. One run is going to be as close to a Nuzlocke as I can. But the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to play through one version of the game normally, and then go to the other version and immediately follow up with a Nuzlocke run, just so that I understand some possible nuances to the formulaic changes that they're going to do. Because if I have to part maps out like I did with this one, I'll need to figure that out before I start another Nuzlocke of that variety. I have no idea how none of them died. Harambe the Savior has blessed this team. He heard me talking all the praise earlier and rewarded us for it. Alright, we're starting with BB. Oh, the Earth Power! Forgot about that even being an option. Alright, that hurt. Oh, Harambe, can you come in and be the God Slayer? Man, I almost think I need to, like, soften it up first. Yeah, I'm going to try to soften it up first. Earth Power is a ground type. I don't think it's a rock type move. So hopefully Jerry can come in and do a little bit of damage. This was literally what the Machamp's purpose was going to be, was in this fight. That's why I was holding on to that Fire Punch for so long. Alright. Let's try to lower the defense. That's kind of going to be a big, I think, necessity before we swap into Harambe. Although, maybe Jerry just takes it. There's no way, right? Alright, we're gonna go with the Agile Strike here. And then I'm gonna potion up. I'm not risking it. BB came in and took a massive hit for us. I'm not gonna let that go to waste. Oh, that hurts so much. Oh, but we can double normal crunch. And if I can drop that defense, I can't undersell how huge that... Yes, that's it. That's game. Just go in and tear the head off of that creature. Beforehand, I felt like I might have been playing with the possibility with its defenses all the way up. Because I don't know what a low roll for damage would end up looking like. But the second I saw that damage get lowered, that was it. It was game. Get out of there. Regroup. Try to catch me. Oh, whoops. My mistake. Whoops. I didn't pay attention to what the story wanted from me. I was too worried about just causing pain. But this does mean I can set up the party for a better follow-up. Jerry absolutely crushed it. Jerry the God Slayer. Insert the song from Ninja Sex Party, Dragon Slayer. We literally just slayed, like, isn't Dialga part dragon? I thought they both were. Oh, shoot! Why do I keep thinking it's like the old school Pokemon games where swapping in the menu means fuck all? Oh, that scared the hell out of me. BB just saw her life flash before her eyes. And I was terrified. And angry at myself for my own ignorance. Again, I'm not losing Jerry, and thank God I'm not losing BB. Harambe, you coming in so clutch with the good energy. Hit you with another crunch here. Sorry I peeked the microphone there, guys. I panicked. I had an emotional moment there. Alright, so... do I Ultra Ball it? I think that's what I do. After healing. Not gonna leave Jerry in a bad spot. Oh, Jerry is literally proving his God Slayer status wasn't just for show the first time. Okay, no good that time. Alright, now the defense stats return to normal. We aim for a little bit less damage. Right now, lower damage is actually the goal. There we go. Alright. Followed up with healing Jerry again. keep him topped off. He's putting in some major work. And now I think we are in the best shot to just keep throwing balls and capture this god. Time has no meaning to Jerry. Jerry is eternal. Jerry is all. Now, we just have to slay literally Pokemon Satan. Oh, the red chain, it shattered. Yeah, but I won. Alright, so here's my plan laying out for the next run. Oh shoot, is this a fault? Oh god, I forgot about this. I forgot both of them. Appearances get made. And I fought Dialga last time, not Palkia, so I don't know if there's a difference in the attack pattern. Luckily, we're going in with a full party, so if I have to make a sacrifice, we have the full list of options. I'm going to tell you right now, if I have to make a sacrifice, I already know who it is and my reasoning for it. And it plays into the narrative, so we have that going for us. Oh. Oh, you're giving me some time here? Do I go fight it now? I mean, Jerry's already shown he's strong enough to fight, in my opinion, the tougher of the two, given the typings. Like, could Jerry just go in there and just legit fight it, crush it? If you have to make a sacrifice when you lose against Palkia, you're technically making a sacrifice to God, like a cult leader. No. I'm not. That's not the way the sacrifices work. I am, as the player, am sure making a sacrifice, but the way that it plays out narratively is that the Pokemon who have developed a trust and understand the need for Pokemon and humans to get along and sees the player character's importance in the role makes a choice to fend off a threat while the other Pokemon carry your unconscious body out of the bad scenario. That's how they happen in these scenes. In my head, at least, that's the narrative at play for the concept. And the party layout, as long as I don't have to make more than one, the party layout would make for the concept to be perfect. Not that I want to lose anyone in the party, because right now we're kind of fairly balanced, and I don't want to make any unnecessary losses, especially understanding what I want my final stream to be, which I think is what I'll do, just because of the shortage of time and wanting to wrap up the Nuzlocke story. I do really want to make it so that we just kind of push forward into the Giratina fight. But I think we've got 2 more episodes of this left. I've got the next bit for this aspect of the story. And then I have the Giratina battle. And the Giratina battle is also partnered with the trainer battle I can't remember his name of, but has a team very similar to Cynthia, and is also a hellish nightmare fight to overcome, literally followed by a multi-tiered fight with a beefed up Giratina. So that would be a hard one to go through. I've been playing too much Cult of the Lamb. I have a lot of, another video idea I wanted to do for pre-recorded stuff and not a live stream. I'm going to call it Steam Cleaning. I have a bunch of games, some of which look kind of entertaining, some of which look more goofy, some of which look absolutely awful, and I don't know when or where or how I ever came across them being in my Steam library. But I have a bunch of games that I've never played, some of which I completely intended to, some of which just look generally decent. And so I was going to do a compound video of a bunch of these things, and at least to get some information out there of some games that some people might not have been aware of, or some games that you might want to avoid after seeing what they are, or some games that you might want to check out. But it would be a compound video of all of these games that I'm going to call Steam Cleaning, because I'm going to remove them from my library if they're not games that I expect I'll ever want to play. And I'll be able to set them aside as at least things that I have tried. By the way, when is the plan for the next few streams? I want to do some pre-recorded stuff for Stray tonight and tomorrow so that I can wrap that story up. I haven't been able to play it in between, and I was trying to put one video out in between streams for that. Didn't work out, you know, timeline, things happen. So over this weekend I want to finish that game with the recording of it. And then I'll have to do some editing for that. The next stream is going to be probably Friday, assuming I'm not down and sick. If you follow me on Twitter, I did put a notice out yesterday that I was not going to be able to do my stream. So on Twitter you can find information about that. I'm not going to go forward here because last time I did that I lost a very important part of my party trying to fill the void. So I'm just going to give you guys the information. Next stream is going to be next Friday. The stream after that for this is going to be once I'm at the point that I'm ready to do the final fights. The final trainer fight with the Cynthia clone whose name I can't remember right now, and Giratina. Their fights are going to be the ones that I save for a stream, however long that stream ends up being. But I'll have one more of this where I maybe try to fill out some of the Pokedex, where I do some of the missions that I've been putting off, and where I do the next big fight for the story. The next bit is going to be possibly the new Pokemon games. If they're out by then, I don't think they will be. I think they're still too far down the line. But Splatoon. The new Splatoon game is one I want to play, and I actually legitimately like the Splatoon franchise. Again, it plays into the goofy fun that I like. So I'm going to be doing a stream of those. In between, I still have Ys 9 to get back to, which is just going to be playing through the story. So that's going to be one that, again, unlike with this stream, I will be reading the dialogue in the game to get the story out there. Those are what I'm doing going forward. But I am going to wrap the stream up here. Thank you so much, everybody, for stopping in. Richard, Dem, I know for certain you guys are still in the chat. Ash, if you're still around, thank you very much. And Tiago, I am sorry to have been the bearer of bad news. But I do thank you very much, and I appreciate seeing that you are still around and still yourself doing fairly well. Thank you so much, everybody, for stopping in. Oh, wait. I have 4 more Fridays before moving, so hopefully we can finish this game before then. I'm fairly certain that's going to happen. In fact, I'm going to make it a point to try and wrap this stream up around that time. And of course, if you happen to miss a stream and you maybe want to see what I'm doing, you can always stop in and watch the video after the fact. It's not as fun as being engaged, and it doesn't help with the more immediate reaction, but to this day I try to catch any new comments on any of my videos after the fact, and I do try to respond to them. So if something happens and you want to give a quick quip and maybe take a jab here and there, because, you know, it's what we do around here. As with the first ever short I ever did, again, thank you, Dem. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here, and we will hopefully be done with this game by then. Thank you so much. You guys have a good one. See you next time.